Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Yeah, welcome to the Premier League wrap-up show. This is Halftime FC back with another episode. Um, a lot of good games in the Premier League this weekend. A lot of games that I think people thought were going to be really good that turned out to be not that exciting, and I think a couple games that people looked over that I thought were exciting. Yeah, a lot to talk about. Let's definitely get into it. I got my laptop here with me. Got my laptop here so I could do some quick lookups and stuff like that. So if you see me look down, I'm definitely checking out the laptop. Um, yeah, let's get into it. The first game of this match week. Let's see. First game of this match week. Southampton versus Chelsea. Uh, this game, I feel like Chelsea fans definitely feel disappointed. This game was there for the taking, especially in the first half when Chelsea had all the momentum. N'Golo Kante was definitely a factor in the game, breaking up plays. Southampton trying to move forward, not allowing them to go forward, breaking up their plays, and making things happen from midfield, feeding the ball into the front three, whether it was Werner or Mason Mount. Mason Mount was at the heart of everything that was good for Chelsea. I believe Alonso had a chance in the early in the first half, and he wasn't able to put it away. I believe it was a shot off of a volley, hit off the one time, and it went out wide, not by much, but Chelsea after that weren't really able to create anything. The Southampton defense stayed very tight. Bednarek early on had trouble with Werner and Alonso on that side, but Gineppo was able to drop back and help him out, and Gineppo dropping back really, I feel like, made the difference in the game, which is crazy because usually Gineppo doesn't make a difference, but yeah, Chelsea kept the ball, but they weren't able to score the ball. They weren't able to play killer passes and really put the ball in the back of the net. Against the run of play, Southampton actually ended up scoring first. It was crazy. Yeah, Southampton scored first. Minamino in the 33rd minute scored. A good ball played through by Redmond. There was so much space between Zuma and Azpilicueta. I don't know why that gap was even open. Maybe they didn't communicate or they weren't paying attention. But Minamino was in through. Azpilicueta tried to cut him off. He ended up going to ground when Minamino had the ball in the box. But a fantastic goal by Minamino. Him really just taking his time, waiting on his chance, waiting until Azpilicueta and Mendy went to ground, kept his composure and scored the goal. And fair play to him and fair play to Southampton. After that, it was pretty much more the same. Chelsea having the ball but not being able to, score it. I believe Zuma had a chance with a header. And yeah, we went into the half 1-0 Southampton. So that was really good for Ralph Haas. I forget his name. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Let me look it up here. Yeah, Ralph Hasenhüttl. Excuse me. Fair play to him, but yeah, we come back out in the half, and Chelsea it's still more of the same. Chelsea still putting on the pressure, and honestly, I believe this game would have ended 1-0. Southampton keeping a clean sheet if it wasn't for Danny Ings fouling Mason Mount in the box. I think they call it a real number 9's challenge. He fouls him in the box and pretty much gives Chelsea a penalty. All credit to Mason Mount as well, really making an effort to get into the box and everything. But, Mason Mount took the penalty as well, and he scored it. It was a roller to the right side. McCarthy went diving the other way. So, yeah, Chelsea tied the game up 1-1. And even though Chelsea tied the game up 1-1, I don't think I expected them to get another goal. Hudson-Odoi came on, and he got some minutes, but Tuchel took him out the game, claiming that he didn't like his energy or what he was creating, stuff like that. that's kind of weird to me to sub a player off. After you sub a player on, it's kind of weird to me. You don't really see that. Adoi was taken out. Kovacic was taken out as well because he just struggled. He really struggled in this game to hold on to the ball really, and when you can't hold on to the ball, it creates problems. He gave up corners, gave Southampton possession, and he really wasn't to the positive of the team. So I agreed with him coming out the game. Southampton really had the best chance of scoring, getting the winning goal with Vestergaard's attempt in somewhere around the 70th minute. It was a ball that came in from the left hand side, and Vestergaard got his head on it, and Mendy just froze. He stared at it, and fortunately for him, it hit the top part of the post and it popped back up. Ings would eventually get his foot on it, but it hit the side netting. Nothing serious. But yeah, all in all, just not the best performance by Chelsea. Everything was good from Chelsea. Winning the ball in the middle of the field, everything was good from Chelsea except the final third. And I think that's an area game they need to work on. Ziyech came into the game for Hudson-Odoi, and also Jorginho subbed in for Kovacic. Ziyech wasn't able to really make an effect on this game. Anything that was good about Chelsea in the final third came from Mason Mount. Absolutely Mason Mount. So he by far was their best player on the day. But man of the match for me, you guys probably not gonna like this. But man of the match for me had to be Djenepo for Southampton. I know Minamino got the goal. It was a big goal, but Djenepo's work rate on defense was phenomenal, man. The guy was everywhere. He was flying everywhere, cutting off. He was cutting players off, winning the ball, getting fouls, man. But I felt bad for him because every time he got fouled, man, he didn't look like he was gonna get back up, man. He needs to put on some weight or something like that, man. He's like a boy playing amongst men, and he's just getting hurt. But no, all credit to him, man. He made things happen on defense. He protected that back line. And Southampton, I believe Southampton did deserve the win, but, a tie, especially with their recent run of form, it suits them well. But Chelsea's next match is against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. And honestly, they need to work on their final third, man. They're playing the final third, playing that killer pass, playing that killer ball. Sometimes they take too much touches. The chance goes away. You have to be quick with these things. I don't think Atletico, even though they have Luis Suarez up front and they play a little bit more expansive now, I think Atletico will be happy to sit behind the ball and, challenge Chelsea to break them down. Because obviously from this game, Chelsea struggled with that. They struggle with, breaking teams down when everybody sits behind the ball. And we know Atletico. We saw what Atletico did to Liverpool last year in the Champions League when they sat everybody back. I don't think they'll be that dramatic against Chelsea sitting everybody back. But, it could be a really tough day for Chelsea if they're not, if they don't have that cutting edge in the final third to open the defense up. My prediction for that game... so hard to predict. I think Atletico will come out with it. I do think Atletico will come out with it. I think Atletico will win 1-0. So let's see what happens. The next game, Burnley versus West Brom at Turf Moor. I really didn't expect a lot out this game. West Brom are relegation bound. They were 13th headed. They had 13 points heading into this game. 19th. They're 19th in the league. I didn't really expect much from this game. Burnley sit currently in they were in 15th to start the day. Excuse me. I was reading the standings, but Burnley. Let me explain what happened first. So, coming out the game, Burnley, they looked really good when the game first started, and then West Brom eventually grew into the game. Had some attacking chances. Pereira had a left-footed shot from outside the box that Nick Pope had to save. I believe he had like two of them. Nick Pope had to save one of them. Not save, but he had to dive at one of them to, he wasn't really sure about it. But an interesting thing happened in about the 28th minute. A ball was played back to Sami Ajay, and he had Vidra fast approaching him. He was pretty much on the island by himself back there, back in the West Brom half of the pitch. And for some reason, I don't know whether Ajay was nervous or whether, he just had, it was a blip, maybe he had a bad moment, but he decides to just slap the hand with, excuse me. He decided to slap the ball with his hand, and, rightfully so, Mike Dean gave him a red card, because if he hadn't have done that, Vidra would have been in a good goal-scoring position, running in at the keeper. So Ajay was given a red card. He was thrown out the game. And from there, I expected Burnley to have a goal. I expected them to put an immense amount of pressure on West Brom. I expected them to, win the game. I think everybody expected that. They tried very hard in the first half, the rest of the first half, for whatever some 20 minutes were left. And once they went into the half 0-0, and Allardyce was able to speak to his players in the dressing room, that's when I felt like, Burnley kind of missed their chance, because he was able to set up more. I think he put John O'Shea in, took out one of his offensive players to solidify the back, and I gotta say this, West Brom really had the better chances to win this game. They really did. After a few scares, minor scares from Burnley to score on the West Brom goal, it was really almost all West Brom playing with 10 men. Just they fought harder in the midfield, which was a problem for them in the first half, because in the first half they weren't. In the first half, they really weren't able to win the ball in midfield. They were losing that midfield battle. But second half, they almost won all of the midfield battles, and it was incredible how much they had improved while the game was going on, especially having 10 men. But the problem with West Brom was their quality in the final third. There were a lot of passes that were just misplaced. There were a lot of balls that should have been played through a little earlier that they didn't do it, and I think that was the overall problem with this whole game. There was a big lack of quality on both sides. The free kicks were. Almost every free kick and corner were horrible. Maybe it was because of the wind, because I know it was very windy out there in Burnley, but absolutely terrible. Just the quality, just was the quality of the football, I believe Maitland-Niles had a great chance inside the box to score. Niang had an excellent chance. He made an incredible dribble, from the right side of the pitch into the box, and sorry about that. But he made an incredible dribble from outside the box into the inside of the box, and a left-footed shot that he was unable to put away, which was a great chance. Also, another great chance. He was on a break, and Pereira was square right across him in the box. No defender on him. The keeper is, on an island. He doesn't square the ball in time. He squares it pretty late, and Pereira just wasn't able to sort himself out and get his feet right. He even had a second chance at it in the same try. The ball came back to him off of a pass, and it was cleared off the line by Tarkowski, which I have to give Tarkowski credit. It was a great save. It was a great clearance off the line. Prevented the chance. But even after that, West Brom had another chance with Pereira on a break, just taking too much touches. He takes a couple touches, and the touches do, the job. It gets the defender. He was able to get the defender to go to ground, and he took that extra touch, which allowed the defender to get up and get back in position. And West Brom need all the points they could get. Drawing at this point is not going to help their season, and that was an opportunity missed 100% by West Brom. The game ended 0-0. It was also a missed chance by Burnley. With Burnley, they don't really need points. I mean, you always need points in the Premier League, of course, but they didn't need it as bad as West Brom, and I feel like West Brom just, they made their job that much harder. It was hard enough having 10 men, playing with 10 men, but, they had the most of the great chances in that game, and, they blew it. My prediction for West Brom, man, I think West Brom are going to go down. I really don't see them coming back, especially with Fulham. Fulham is they're really coming into their own, and I watched them play last night. Not last night, but 2 nights ago, I believe they played Sheffield United, and they got the win. Yeah, they played later that day, the day West Brom played. But yeah, they got the win, and Fulham are looking really, really good. They're only they're only 3 points off Newcastle. Newcastle sitting in the 17th place, and it's just I feel bad for West Brom. But anyway, moving on. Liverpool versus Everton. Oh man, that back line for Liverpool, man, their defense, man, just not awake, just sleeping in the beginning of the game. There have been a lot of games lately. I've noticed there have been a lot of games lately that have had like early goals. Teams sleeping. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Like you know what I mean? The game is on as soon as the game is on. You know what I mean? But anyway, getting to the game, Liverpool versus Everton. There was a very early goal from Richarlison. The ball was headed back out. James Rodriguez got his foot on the ball and was able to play Richarlison in to Kabak, who's actually with his header. Kabak was he was just staring at the ball. It's like he forgot Richarlison was right next to him. He forgot that he was in the Premier League and Richarlison is like super fast. He just totally forgot all this, or maybe he just didn't know. Maybe he wasn't informed, but Richarlison made a great run. He saw Kabak wasn't paying attention. He saw where James was, made a great run. James plays him through. Bang, ball is in the back of the net, across the goalkeeper. Allison, who, that was a tough one to give up, because goals change games, now Liverpool have to kind of chase, and it was tough for Liverpool because I have to say, Everton's back line was incredible. Like, they really played well. Like, and I know the word "played well" is thrown around a lot, but no, Everton's back line: Michael Keane, Mason Holgate, Ben Godfrey, Digne, Seamus Coleman. Man, those guys were on. They were on. They played much better than Liverpool's back line. Michael Keane. It seemed like, of course, Liverpool dominated the ball. Ancelotti brought all his players back behind the ball after they scored, but Liverpool put a lot of pressure on Everton, and I'll be honest with you, if Everton had cracked, I wouldn't have blamed them because it was immense pressure. And Keane, it's like he dealt with everything. Godfrey was excellent, Holgate was excellent. It was really, Pickford made some incredible saves. They were on. I felt like Everton really wanted this, and they deserved to go into the half 1-0. They truly did. After scoring in the 3rd minute, that's 42 minutes of defense that they played. It was crazy how good they were. Second half, Liverpool still were able to dominate possession. Actually, let me bring up the stats right here. Yeah, Liverpool had 72% of the possession. Played 693 passes, to Everton's 296. You know, had more corners, 7 corners. Everton only had 2. Yeah, Liverpool really did dominate this game, but that Everton back line was ridiculous. You know, they they wanted this game, man, and you could really see it. But yeah, the beginning of the second half, there was a little bit of a fall off. Everton could have conceded a goal, especially with Sadio Mane getting his head on a really good ball. But unfortunately for Mane, he hit it right to where Pickford was standing, so it was a really easy save for Pickford. You know, might have really been the best chance, other than there were a couple of other chances for Liverpool, but actually not even chances, because when they got in the box, you know, Keane and Holgate, they were on it, man. They were blocking shots, you know, really gave that effort on defense. I haven't seen a defensive performance like that in a while. Like, that was a really good defensive performance. And I know I keep repeating it because that was really the key to Everton winning this game. Of course, if you know, Everton did go on to win this game 2-0 because, Alexander-Arnold, toward the end of the game, Liverpool chasing, Liverpool left themselves open at the back, as we all know when you chase a game. Alexander-Arnold goes to ground. Referee deems that he's not playing the ball. Dominic Calvert-Lewin goes over him, and penalty. Sigurdsson puts it away, and Everton get the win at Anfield. The first time they won at Anfield since 1999, I believe, is what I heard. But yeah, it's. I believe this is the 4th game Liverpool has lost at Anfield in a row. We know Liverpool's defensive woes at the back, but Klopp has to be able to do something. You have to make changes. You have to look at City. City were injured too this year. Remember, City had COVID. People were out for, because of COVID reasons. Kevin De Bruyne missed time. Remember, they were leaking goals as well at the back. I mean, of course, they signed the Ruben Diaz, who sorted City out. But, I'm kind of getting tired of the excuses from Jurgen Klopp about the back line. And I believe he made an excuse about one day the pitch wasn't right or this, that, and the third. I'm tired of his excuses, man. Liverpool are just going to have to just, realize that, no one really cares about your problems. It's all about the result. But, I think Liverpool picked up another injury as well. Jordan Henderson, which is, really big. He picked up an injury in the game, in the match, and maybe it was a hamstring. Maybe he'll be back, maybe not. But where do Liverpool sit right now? Excuse me. You see, Liverpool's sixth, and 3 points, 5 points outside the one of those Champions League spots. I think their goal for this season, of course, the league is gone. Manchester City look like they're gonna win it, but do I think Liverpool can finish top 4? Yes, I do think Liverpool can finish top 4. Because Chelsea haven't really found their form, yet. They won against Newcastle, but they haven't really found their form. I think if Liverpool could put a run of games together, if Kabak could really come on and kind of do a Ruben Diaz, for Liverpool, I think Liverpool can finish in the top 4, if not 5th. But yeah, let's move on. We had the nightcap for that match day was Fulham versus Sheffield United. Ademola Lookman getting the goal in that game to really boost Fulham's season. There were if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whatever, who are the teams getting relegated, I would have said right off the bat Fulham, West Brom, Sheffield United. But now, I have to say, Fulham have a really good chance of surviving, and credits to Scott Parker. Credit to Scott Parker. He really has Fulham, playing really well. They've been drawing a lot of games recently, so this win over Sheffield United was big. Sheffield United they're probably going to be out of the Premier League, which is really sad because they had such a great campaign last season. But Fulham really worked hard in this game, and what I liked about this game is after they scored, they didn't sit back and let Sheffield United attack them. They didn't do that. They kept that desire to attack. They kept on attacking and try to find another goal. They didn't find another goal, and Sheffield United did have a couple of great chances, especially at the end, to tie the game. But fortunately, Fulham were able to come out this game with a win, which puts them 3 points off the 17th place, the safe zone, with Newcastle sitting there. Fulham did not shoot themselves in the foot in this game, and they properly beat Sheffield United, which I think I had Sheffield United winning this game for some reason. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry to Fulham fans. I was totally out of place to say that because Fulham are good. Oh no. I had Fulham winning this game. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had Fulham winning this game. I had them winning 2-1. Which I wasn't really close, but had them winning. So, but great game for Fulham. Great result. Definitely makes the relegation battle more interesting because, I was kind of disappointed that I was like, it's not going to be a very interesting relegation battle, but now it's way more interesting, especially with Newcastle dropping points as well. Moving on to the next game, West Ham versus Tottenham. This is one of those games, just like the Liverpool game, where early goal, Mikel Antonio, the guy's a beast, man. He gets into the box, has a great chance off of a cross that probably should have been blocked by Son. I think Son needs to work on his defending. He's a little bit too forward happy and not enough, I'd like to see him give the same effort defensively as he does offensively. But Mikel Antonio, man, he gets his foot on the ball, gets blocked initially by Lloris, and then boom, just puts the ball right back into the goal. A real poacher's goal. You know what I mean? That desire to not be denied. Really came to the forefront. And I have to say, for that first half, West Ham were the better team, 100%. They put pressure on Tottenham. Tottenham had a few chances. Harry Kane had a shot, a couple of chances, but West Ham were definitely the better side in that first half. The second half, and Spurs kind of fall asleep again. They let Lingard through on I have to say, it was a great combination play with him and I believe it was Fornals, I think, who got the assist on that. But Jesse Lingard getting through and just banging it in across the goal, across Lloris. A really good goal. If you don't check that out, it was a really nice goal. The whole build-up and everything, and his celebration was so funny, man. With Lingard playing the flute, I think it was Declan Rice, like he was playing the drums, and Fornals, playing the guitar, man. I'm really enjoying what's going on at West Ham. I think West Ham have to be. I'm going to make a bold statement here. I think West Ham are the best team in London right now. The best team in London. I really do think so. They actually, let me see. Yeah, they have to be the best. They're the only London team in the top four right now. Getting 2 points above Chelsea. Chelsea sit there in fifth. Had Chelsea won, they'd be tied on points, and Chelsea would be fourth with goal difference had Chelsea won. But we know what happened. But in that second half, Tottenham put it on. They put it on West Ham. They brought the pressure. They even got a goal. They got a goal back. Tottenham. Yeah, Lucas Moura. It got a goal back. It was a header, I believe, to the near corner off of a Gareth Bale near post. into the right near post off of a free kick from Gareth Bale. And Gareth Bale, I don't know why Gareth Bale didn't play early in the season. And Gareth Bale is effective. When he's on the pitch, there are more chances for Tottenham. And I just don't understand why Mourinho decided to just dog him. Thank God he had that great performance in the Europa League, this past Europa League match week, that allowed him to have this start, because Gareth Bale's still quality. There were talks about, he's past his prime, he's past this, that, and the third. But no, Gareth Bale's still quality, man. He could feed a pass. He fed a pass into Harry Kane, and Harry Kane almost got his head in. He needs to be playing, but a little bit of it was kind of unfortunate for Tottenham, because they had some really great chances to get that second goal. Gareth Bale hitting the post on a volley, a wicked volley. It would have been a great goal if that would have went in, but it hits the top of the post, and then Heung-min Son at the end, getting the ball in the air with, I think it was a chip, and hitting the post, that really should have went in. Hit the post, came back out, and wrap it up. Tottenham lose 2-1, and I listened to the post game reaction from Mourinho, and he mentioned the Europa League, and yeah, I think Spurs should pay attention to the Europa League. I think they're probably their only way into the Champions League. Mathematically, it is possible for them to get into the top four. I think it is possible for them to get into the top four, but they gotta win games. They really do have to win games. That's 4 losses in their last 5 games. They need to start winning games, and I think Bale needs to start playing. And we all know how Mourinho plays. He's not going to switch up his style, because I was going to say, switch up your style, but Mourinho's going to go what works for him. And I think Tottenham's chance for some type of silverware this season definitely is going to be in the Europa League, also in the Carabao Cup final against Manchester City. I like Mourinho in finals. I think he's rather good in finals, although it'll be against Pep and Manchester City. When you play them, playing Manchester City is just like playing a cold dose of reality. Like, it's very hard to play them. I think Ancelotti said that he just scratched his head after the game because he doesn't know how to break them down. But anyway, moving on. Aston Villa versus Leicester City. Honestly, I think that first goal in this game, the James Maddison goal that came in the 19th minute, I think that Villa let them have it too easy. I feel like it was just too easy. All Maddison really had to do was just move the ball a little bit to his right, and then blast it into the right corner. Not blast it, but roll it, and it's kind of rolling into the right corner. It was a very easy goal. Shouldn't have went in. Mings just wasn't, his awareness just wasn't there. James Maddison's right-footed. Don't let him cut to the right side. Like, I just don't understand certain things. There are just certain things that are inherent, should be inherent information. Like, you watch footage before the game, you see, don't let Maddison go to his right. Maddison is a goal scorer. Maddison's been scoring goals all season. Maddison is a problem. Like, don't let him get to his right. But what do I know? You know what I mean? I'm just speaking on the mic. What do I know? But also Harvey Barnes getting that was a little bit more like good positioning. Harvey Barnes putting himself in the way of a shot that was saved by Martinez, and getting it back in. The initial shot coming off Jamie Vardy. And they definitely did dominate this game, Leicester City. I felt like Aston Villa really did miss Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish is a guy for them that really controls the tempo of the game. He's able to, it seems like when Jack Grealish plays, when the ball's at his feet, it seems like he's either going to play a good pass or he's going to get fouled, which creates set piece opportunities, which allows Villa to control the pace of the game, and really affect the game. And they really did miss that today. They got to go back in the second half from Richard Traore, which was a really nice goal. He just slams it into the left, into the top left after, and then he falls right down after. It was a really really good goal. But after that, you know, Leicester did have to hold on a little. They just had to like really just concentrate, put the game away. You know, 2-1 to Leicester City, who now sit. I believe it's or not. I believe I'm seeing it here. They're level on points with Manchester United. Manchester United in second off goal difference, and Leicester sit third place. And that's credit to Leicester City. They have been good this year. You know, lost a couple of weird games that people expect them to win, but no, Leicester City, doing well, and they're in Europa League. I think they had a draw in the Europa League with Slavia Praha, but yeah, for Leicester City, man, they that midfield, Ndidi, Madison, Yuri Tielemans. It's a really solid team, just a really solid team. I like Soyuncu. I think he's a good defender. Justin's injured, but I like Justin as well. There talks about Justin getting a call up for the England squad for the Euros coming up this summer. Yeah, a lot to like about Leicester City. Jamie Vardy, of course, Jamie Vardy. And there's somebody I'm missing. There's somebody I'm missing. I know there's somebody I'm missing. Let me. Yeah. No, I didn't miss anybody that I wanted to mention. No. Yeah. Leicester just, they were really solid. They were really solid. Pereira, of course, like we know Pereira's, he's good. Yeah, nobody else I missed that I wanted to mention. Yeah, it's Leicester a really good team, and they deserve to be in third. They've been good all year, But moving on from this game to a game that I kind of expected a little bit more out of. But then when I realized, when I thought about it, I'm like, okay, yeah, Teddy used to play under City for years. Not play under City, excuse me. He was on City's coaching board for years. But Arsenal, Manchester City at the Emirates, I expected more out of this game. I thought there'd definitely be more goals. This game could have been 0-0, honestly, if Rob Holding didn't fall asleep, in the second minute. See, this is another game I'm talking about. Like, these early goals, man. Like, the game is on as soon as the game is on. Like, you can score a goal within at any time of the 90 minutes. It's like when the game starts, teams don't expect goals to go in until like the 15th or 20th minute. Bro, like, the game is on. Rob Holding allows Raheem Sterling to have a free header. Raheem Sterling is about 5'7", I believe. Rob Holding is way taller than him. Like, why, bro? Like, you need to have awareness inside the box. Like, you need to know that, like, the attack is coming. The attack was on the right side. I believe it was Mahrez that had the assist. Happy birthday to Mahrez, by the way. It was his birthday on the game day. But yeah, a lot of Raheem Sterling would just jump and just free header in the goal. Oh yeah, Manchester City up 1-0. And it was ridiculous. I felt like it was absolutely ridiculous. Like, because honestly, Arsenal dealt with City for the rest of that game. They actually were okay on defense. They were good enough to not allow another goal by City. And of course, City, controlled the possession of the ball. They had much more possession than Arsenal. Arsenal at times couldn't even, get out of their own half, because they committed so many men back that they weren't able to build up a proper attack going forward. But, if Holding doesn't fall asleep, or, excuse me, if Holding doesn't fall asleep, and I believe it was Bellerin. It was Bellerin on the other side of Sterling. If they don't fall asleep, we talking about a 0-0. I think that's what Arteta planned for. I think he had the right idea on how to beat City because he had he had been with them for so long. He had the blueprint. I don't think he expected a goal in the second minute, but this game got really boring very fast. Especially like in the second half, around like the 60th, 70th. Those minutes going on to the end of the game, it got really boring. City looked like they were gonna settle for the 1-0. Arsenal just couldn't really create much. Fernandinho was great. He was breaking up. He was breaking up a lot of plays. But Ruben Dias and John Stones, man, those guys are like, that has to be the best center back pairing in the Premier League right now, man. Those guys, they're in tune with each other. You can see it, man. Like almost every play, they're high fiving. They're a really good center back pairing, and I got to give credits to Pep Guardiola for getting the right guy. We've seen Pep pay so much money for defenders and not being the right guy. He got the right guy this time, and you do have to give him credit, man. Ruben Dias has made John Stones look so much better. This game really did get boring. Kevin De Bruyne had a couple passes that were really nice. But other than that, I have to be honest with you. The West Brom Burnley game was way better to watch. Even though it was less quality, but like it just wasn't boring. It really was boring. Odegaard almost had no effect on the game. Pepe almost had no effect on the game. Saka was probably the best Arsenal player out there. Aubameyang at times just didn't even look like he was there. I think it was really due to the fact that Arsenal weren't able to get a proper attack going. I think that was really the reason why these players didn't have that great of an effect on the game. But not much else to really talk about in this game. Really, it was really boring. But City get the win and they stay top of the league. But boring or not, City will take the win. They give a damn about entertaining me. But the last game before the game later on today, Manchester United versus Newcastle. I have to say, Newcastle were really good, and probably for like the first hour, Newcastle were really, really good. They pressed United. They pressed United. That's really unlike Newcastle. They pressed. They got after, and they created chances. Miguel Almiron. I know a lot of people criticize him. But he was really good on the day. He would have created chances had. Excuse me. He had a couple runs, was what I meant to say. A couple runs that looked really dangerous until they were stopped. But Marcus Rashford did get a goal in the 30th minute, which was somewhat against the run of play. He nutmegged. He was able to get past Kraft, and he nutmegged him. And then Kraft actually got back into position, and Marcus Rashford was able to get the ball into his right foot. He's right-footed, maybe want to cut him off, and he was able to blast the ball on the near post, in which keeper shouldn't be getting, Darryl shouldn't be getting beat on his near post, but it happened, whatever. But minutes later after that, I don't say Maximin off of what I thought was a really bad clearance by Harry Maguire. He's facing his goal, but he clears the ball. He doesn't even see where he's clearing the ball. He would have been better off, just giving up a corner instead of putting his team in a really dangerous situation. But he heads the ball back into play, not even looking in the direction of where all the other players are. And I don't say Maximin gets he's up to it, and he gets a free hit. And goes into the net. It was a really nice goal from St. Maximin's part. It was a really nice goal. But a really bad mistake from Harry Maguire. And unfortunately, he's very mistake prone. he didn't have Lindelof to blame for that one. That was his fault, legit. Like, I do have to say, like, that was 100% his fault. But, moving on, Newcastle were really good on the day. Went into the half 1-1, and coming back out, Newcastle still did control the play. Not control the play, but they had, they really did continue to play well, get a few chances. A ball was played in the Newcastle's box by Matic, and Daniel James was able to score. Bruno Fernandes getting like the slightest touch on the ball to put it past Lewis, puts it between his legs, and Daniel James found himself in a great position on the right side, on the near post, and he blasted and beats the keeper on the near post. Which is the second time that he was beat on the near post, but yeah, after that, I feel like United did kind of get a hold on the game. They did, kept possession a little bit more, and eventually Marcus Rashford was able to win a penalty, which I did think it was a soft penalty. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Watch the replay. I did think it was quite soft, but nonetheless, it was given. Bruno Fernandes put the penalty away, which was really good, because this was a keeper in Darlow that had saved the penalty by Newcastle. That had saved the penalty by Bruno Fernandes early in the season. So Bruno was able to put a goal past him, and United, they get the win 3-1. But I want to talk about Newcastle. If Newcastle want to get away from this relegation fight with Fulham, I'd like to see them play like that more, not sitting behind the ball and getting after teams, because of course Callum Wilson wasn't in the team today, but Newcastle have weapons. Before the season started, I thought Newcastle would be formidable. I didn't, I definitely didn't see them 17th. No, I didn't see them 17th. I think they're better than some other teams. I think they're better than I think they are. Let me see. I think they're better. I think they have more attacking options than Brighton. I think they have better attacking options than Burnley. I think at times they're better than Crystal Palace. Everything else, Leeds, Wolves, Arsenal, they can't really get at those teams, but I feel like, yeah, between Brighton, Burnley, Crystal Palace, and Newcastle, I didn't expect Newcastle to be at this point in the season, at 17th. I didn't. Callum Wilson scored goals for them. He was out today. Alisson Maximin is a threat. Almiron, showed when he was in a different position today and was able to, he didn't have to rely on service, and you can see he was effective, If Newcastle play like this and they could get the pressing right, they could press for the 90 minutes, they could really get that right, I could see them staying up, but they have to get those results, because Fulham are getting results. But Fulham also do tie a lot, and Fulham might not, they beat Sheffield United, but it's Sheffield United, who hasn't beat Sheffield United this season. Well, Sheffield United did beat, they did beat United, all respects, but yeah, if Newcastle want to stay up, I like this way they're playing. I think Steve Bruce, I think he was good in the way he was playing. I know people want him out of the club and stuff like that, but I like the way they played today. Newcastle, I thought it was very effective, and they should continue to play like that, because they have to get those guys. They have to get their front, their attack on the ball. Alisson Maximin creates so many problems for defenses. You see it every game. He can dribble. The guy is an absolute problem. So yeah, I think Newcastle, will they survive? I don't know if Newcastle will survive. If they play like that, they have a better chance. The next game is against Wolves, and I think Newcastle have enough to beat Wolves. I do think so. If they get at Wolves and they press them and they play like they played today, Like, I mean, yesterday they can get at Wolves. They can win. I think they could win that game. Who does Fulham have next? Let me see. Excuse me. Crystal Palace, London Derby. Tough game. Tough game. Newcastle, of course, have the tougher game. Between Newcastle and who I think can stay up. Man, it's so tough, man. I think Newcastle will stay up. I do think Newcastle will stay up. I liked what I saw out of Newcastle today, but I did like what I saw out of Fulham. But Fulham did play Sheffield United, so it was an easier game. Newcastle did play United, so it was a harder game. They did give United a hard time. I think Newcastle will stay up. I really do think so. But yeah, those were all the games so far. There's a game today, Brighton and Crystal Palace. That's a big derby. It's going to be a really good game. It's going to be a good game. Who do I think is going to win this game? My prediction for this game, I think Brighton will win this game. Brighton have been really good lately. Their form has been all right. They've been drawing games. They won 2. Out of the last 5 games, they drew 3 and they won 2. I think Brighton could get this one. Crystal Palace, I just don't know what to expect out of Palace sometimes. I just really don't. I think Brighton have been a little bit more steady. They know how they want to play. Crystal Palace sometimes, I think they lost to Burnley in their last game. I think Brighton will get this one. Graham Potter is a really underrated manager. He really is an underrated manager. Pep Guardiola, I remember saying that he was probably the best English manager. He really sets his team up nice. But yeah, I think Brighton will win this game. I'm going for a 2-1. I think Crystal Palace will get a goal, especially if Zaha plays. I think they will get a goal, but I think ultimately, I think Brighton will. I think Graham Potter will make enough tactical changes, to get Brighton over the line. It's a must-win for Brighton. It really is, because Newcastle's only 1 point behind them, and I don't think Brighton want to get caught in that relegation scrap. I don't think they want to get caught up in that. But yeah, I'll be back later today with a review of that game, the Brighton versus Crystal Palace. Then after that, we will be having a Champions League preview show. Yeah, we have 2 Champions League games going on. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Had a little glitch. We have 2 Champions League games. This coming up this Tuesday and Thursday. We have Tuesday and Wednesday. Excuse me. We have Atletico Madrid taking on Chelsea. And then we have Lazio taking on Bayern Munich tomorrow. Wednesday we have Atalanta taking on Real Madrid, and then we have Borussia Mönchengladbach, taking on Manchester City. Some good ties. I already gave my prediction for Atletico Chelsea. I think Atletico will, edge it out 1-0. Lazio versus Bayern. I gotta go. Bayern Munich have been slipping lately. Bayern Munich have been slipping lately. But no, I think Bayern Munich will have enough to beat Lazio. I do think so, 100%. I'm predicting probably a 2 or 3-0. 3-0 Bayern Munich. But we'll be back later on today, and I'll give a proper preview for the game. But all in all, yeah, great week in the Premier League. A lot of good results, a lot of some shock results. It's good to see that fight for the top 4 in the Premier League. It's good to see that it's not just a lock. Chelsea can still get in there 100%. West Ham is kicking on. Leicester's kicking on. United kicking on. Man City are just like, they're just that unstoppable, untouchable. They really messed up the title race for me. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I was enjoying it. I was enjoying the title race. I was enjoying, like, I believe there were like 6 or 7 different teams that were top of the league. Chelsea was top. Southampton was top. United were top. Leicester were top for a little bit, and then just boom, City just start running away with it, man. It's just whatever, man. But they play really good stuff. They play really good football, man, and it's hard to deny them, man. If they become the champions, I wouldn't even be mad, man. Like, congrats to them, but not the champions yet. It's a whole season and things could happen, so you never know. But yeah, that's probably it for right now. I'm gonna tune into the game. Hopefully, you guys watch the game. It should be a good game. In this derby. Crystal Palace versus Brighton. I think it's going to be a good one. I think it'll be, it'll be something to watch. Before these Champions League games, obviously tomorrow. But yeah. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the FC Halftime FC show. All right, peace, everybody.